Let us talk about the masterpiece we call Elden Ring. Here's the basic summary of every point. This game is definitely going to be Game of the Year material, from the world design to the enemy variety to the staggering amount of bosses. Everything here just works, and I recommend everyone to play this game. As a Dark Souls veteran, I've played every Souls game to completion multiple times. But this game feels different but plays the same, especially in the environment. Honestly, this game looks great. It may not be the most graphically impressive game we've seen like Red Dead, but the amount of things in the open world is so cool. There's always something new to find, anything from a new building, a new dungeon, even a boss or enemy encampment. At least from my experience, this game does not suffer from many bugs or glitches. Let's talk about enemies and bosses. The game does have an occasional reused boss, but it's mostly inside the dungeons. Most of the open world has a lot of different bosses. Even with the average enemy, there will always be something different no matter wherever you go. But that does not mean they have not reused a lot of enemies. Most of the enemies that you see will be from other areas of the map, but usually there's something behind why they're there. So far I've spent around 60 to 80 hours in the game. Personally, I've struggled with certain bosses, but mostly it comes down to trial and error, just like every other Souls game. This game is probably the most easiest and accessible game to a larger audience, because you can get overpowered at the beginning from doing mostly side content, and I love that. Now please don't rush to the main bosses. That's the greatest way to get yourself killed. As long as you start off by exploring and doing side content, you can get yourself prepared to take on pretty much anything. Now the next and final point that I have: weapons and armor and new mechanics. There is a lot of cool items you can find, especially magic. Since they pretty much rework magic as a whole, it is way more viable to use in every situation. Even weapon arts make a return, but they can be applied to almost any weapon. To personalize your weapons, you must go out of your way to fight bosses that drop them, or certain enemies that may be wandering the map. And that is such a great idea that they did that. That allows for so many new builds to come along and change how we play in each individual encounter. Now the final and most greatest feature they've ever added: a jump. This literally changes how we play Souls. You can climb buildings to get a better vantage point. You can scale walls of castles. This will change how we approach enemy encounters. Now that is everything I have to say. I did this review with no script. I just said what I wanted to say. I thought that would be the best way to catch my reaction and put it into a video. I didn't want to take up much of your time. So if you want to support me, leave a like and subscribe.